Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, here we are again. I want to show you guys something unbelievable. We had a big fire out in Stockpile Valley, and it was, as of last night, it was burning 1,500 acres, 0% contained. And I'm going to show you something. This doesn't happen, but it happened. What it looks like has happened is some trade winds have pushed this smoke out towards the ocean. So that is totally amazing. They said we're having a heat wave, a heat event, and that heat event is going to last until after Monday. So otherwise it's going to ruin our whole weekend, basically. And then the fire started, and a lot of people like me said, oh my gosh, what next? So you remember the brace yourself videos? I have braced myself for hell. The fires are literally hell, but guess what? God had other ideas. You can probably bet it had something to do with the firemen in San Diego County. Out here, everyone loves firemen. Of all the jobs, of all the dangerous jobs in the whole wide world is a fireman. So I'm lucky I have Diet Coke, the cheap stuff, 74 cents from Walmart. Yes. So what I'm doing is I'm saving all of the money I possibly can. I mean, as cheap as I possibly can until the end of the year. And the fires were scary because my son lives out that way. So I have a tablecloth, and I bought this 50% off because I thought at some, so I got that 50 cents. I thought at some point I'm likely to have a party. So I thought, well, why not use your tablecloth today? Why not? Yes. In celebration of the trade winds. Oh my gosh. So, the prayers help, you guys, definitely. So that needs to be remembered, instead of going, we're screwed, Okay, this video is, California is like a rich little country of its own. In fact, we had some flat earthers who thought that would be a good idea. 3 foods to buy if you don't want to run out of food. This is a good one. I got this from a lady. I was a hairdresser, and we strike up conversations with anyone and everyone. And I met this woman who was in McDonald's with her grandkids, and we struck up a conversation. Resale, just a little bit, and how to spot a demon. So, okay. First, California is a very rich state, and we have a lot of agriculture. We also have a lot of immigrants here. We were from El Centro when Cesar Chavez, this is how old I was, was speaking out for the Mexican immigrants that were being, were like picking the crops, and they were being actually sprayed by pesticides. So that's how far we have come. And so a lot of our wealth has been caused by our labor force that is made up of immigrants. And also we have a lot of Asian immigrants that have worked very hard and have established businesses, and they see to it that their children are well educated, and they make first generation immigrants make huge contributions to our society in science and doctors. Yes. So another might not know if you're not from California is that we have a liberal social services network. Also, we do have like one of the sharpest governors, Governor Newsom. I don't think there's anyone in California who has to admit he has done a darn good job. And thank God he was the governor, because it was a very dangerous time. And we have our wealth to protect. And I think he has done that pretty well. So that was something to be grateful for. So our wealthy state that some people think should be its own country is due to our immigrants. And so it was also scary because 100,000 of those immigrants enter the U.S. daily at the border. 100,000, you guys. And yet we seem to have weathered the COVID storm. I think a lot of people underestimate America and what we can do. So if we're all diligent, hopefully things will, it would be great if we got some kind of V-shaped recovery. I wouldn't doubt it. Since our inception with George Washington, it's been nothing but miraculous. Also, our military has a lot to do with it, and we are a military town. Also in San Francisco, that's where we have the tech, so that's not to be forgotten. And then there's a lot of agriculture in Northern California and Central Valley, California. And we also have a huge water system in California. So California is like, you might not know that if you don't live here. San Diego is very expensive, though. I'm not going to lie to you. Not as expensive as San Francisco, but not cheap either. Okay, so I ran into this older woman with the grandkids, and I used to do my work, a lot of my work that I do on the social media in McDonald's, but that can't be done anymore because you can't really go inside. In this blazing heat, I forced myself to walk 2 hours. It was very unpleasant, and I wish to report to you that I think I was the only one nuts enough to be out there in the heat. So we were talking about, she was providing care for her grandchildren, and we were talking about money and food, and she said, if you don't want to run out of food, buy these 3 foods. These 3 foods were chicken, rice, and beans. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Today I was in Walmart, my home away from home, and this month I decided to go for the drumsticks, 4 pounds for $5. I don't think you can beat that. And these aren't those little bitty drumsticks either. These are good. I eat about, I think I figured it was about 6 pounds a month. So if I buy 2 of those, 10 pounds of chicken is going to keep me going all month. Rice, I have big bags, but if you don't have that much money, this is a lot of rice. And you can make all kinds of things out of rice. I'm going to be making some chicken, rice, and beans recipes. And then beans. Don't mess around, you guys. Get the big bags of beans. When the pandemic first started, I bought the big bags. That is a lot of food. You're not going to be going hungry if you have that. And there's lots of things you can make. Those Mexicali refried beans I made last night? My friend, her father had a restaurant by the Tecate border, and the Mexicali beans recipe is his recipe. Get that recipe. What I do, the Mexican rice recipe I wrote that in my notebook. So there's all kinds of things you can do. The way we have always eaten them is beans and ham hocks. But beans and bacon ends are cheaper, so you might want to go that way. Now, I want to talk to you about resale. Today I sold something totally unexpected. I sold something cute. I sold this adorable dress. Yes. What I do is, see how cute? What I do is I shop around, and if I find a good deal, the brand is Maggie London, and it appears to be brand new. Yesterday I found these cards, Pokemon cards, and I will sell them at the swap meet. So if you're like kind of looking to create a little extra money, consider eBay. I sold that dress totally unexpected. It's a size 12. I try to go for size 12 and up. A majority of the women are over a size 14. I myself am an example of that. So that is it on the resale. Also yard sales. I sell watches, all different kinds, and any kind of costume jewelry. Okay, so now how to spot a demon. Okay, what they say is we're going to have more demon activity in the ends of times. Is this the end of time? I don't know. I better put my chicken in the coop. Now that I have discovered that Louisiana chicken stuff from Walmart, I'll be having a lot of, I can't wait. The reason I decided to go for legs is I started following Peach McIntyre. Go to that channel. She's this young woman with 5 kids, and follow her, and she accepts gifts. So if you would like to gift her with money or gifts, she will be glad to accept. And I love to see the gifts people send her. She can use it. She's got 5 kids. That's a lot of kids, you guys. How to spot a demon. Okay, you're not going to say to yourself, oh my gosh, look, a demon, generally. Some people do see them. Mainly, what demons like to do is they like to inhabit people. But they don't say, look, I'm here, I'm inhabiting this person, but there's usually a sign that they are present. And so I want to go over some of these so that you guys can be on the lookout. God forbid. Believe it or not, I've actually seen some of these myself. I hope to avoid them in the future. One, fits of rage. Fits of rage can sometimes result in murder. An example of fits of rage was Hitler. And it seems like when they have these fits of rage, it's somewhat involuntary, and their rage fits are really frightening. Number 2, spells of insanity. Okay, real insanity is not that common, but there is fits of insanity. One example of someone who was insane was Nero. So they will now they call them episodes. But fits of insanity are a very bad sign. A lot of times criminals will be found innocent due to insanity. Okay, unexplainable illnesses like seizures with no seizure sickness. They just, fall down and have a seizure. Or they have very strange, unexplainable illnesses. Sometimes they pass, sometimes they're tortured by these illnesses for years. But mainly they're like odd, unexplainable illnesses. Okay, strange behavior and language. Okay, I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. But it was kind of really creepy too. And it was like a combination of baby talk and talking like the Munchkins. So if you think that, it's contrived, just try doing it. It's impossible. It is a weird Okay, what? So like weird language. You're just going, what is this? Some people attribute that to speaking in tongues, and I'm sure there is speaking in tongues, which is demonic. But just really weird talking and weird, strange behavior. I mean, off the charts, strange. Where you go, oh my gosh. Sometimes we see it on YouTube. Personally, I kind of enjoy it, but it is not good. Let's see. Talking like a different person. That's a bad sign. Or the person is carrying on conversations while talking like a different person between two people. Strange behavior. Insomnia that is tortured that no medication can relieve. Okay, I have insomnia and I've had it for years, and my doctor told me true insomnia is very uncommon and incurable. My grandmother and my great-grandmother had it, and so I sleep very little. But I can knock myself out with sleeping pills, but I don't because I don't want to take the chance. See what a cute bracelet this is? Someone will buy this. I don't knock myself out with anything except a light sleeping pill because I'm afraid that it will lose its effectiveness. So I don't use anything, basically, not even Benadryl. Number 6, extreme uses of drugs, alcohol, and hyper smoking that sometimes results in death, like catching the house on fire. These can be accidents, but these habits or choking on vomit. Anyway, their hyper use of these substances is way over the top, and a lot of times results in death. Or you'll see people who do things while under the influence that they never would have done otherwise. So hyper use of alcohol and drugs. Okay, strange, number 7, strange powers over people. We've all heard of this. One of the most famous was Charles Manson. He had those girls under some kind of strange power. Satanists seem to like to get their followers under their power. So, but when it might be a demon is when the power is really, really strange, like strange powers. And a lot of times these powers have to do with instilling fear or some type of sexual component. So the devil is big on those two things. So magnetizing personality. One of the most magnetic personalities of our time was Jim Morrison. Even to this day, I watch his videos and I think that is amazing. He was just some guy, and all of a sudden, early on in his career, though, he liked to go to the, what do you want to call this, taboo things, and all of a sudden his music would really be stuck in your brain. Magnetizing personality. Okay, this is a good one. This is a creepy one. Abnormal beauty. So you have a person who's very, very beautiful. Then they lose it and they're just abnormally ugly. Worse than ugly. I don't know what a word for worse of ugly is, but it has been postulated that the demon has actually stolen that person's beauty. And then when you see the abnormal ugliness, that is the demon. So that is creepy. Okay. Number 10, hypnotizing music. Like the sirens, any water spirits is probably a demon, but the sirens would call to the musically or call to them. I've heard of heroin calling to people. That's probably a demon, but when these sailors would be beguiled by this siren, ooh, they would crash on the shores and die. So very, very magnetic singing. Beguiling singing. That could be a demon. Okay, now, there's a few more. Okay, preoccupation with history. So they want to bring these historical times back, like the 17th century Rome and Egypt. And so it might be possible that that is a time when the demon was very, very happy. We see that in fashion. We see that in all kinds of things. I actually love stuff that is like Egyptian. Not saying it's good, I'm just saying I like it. So the person wants to recreate this time gone by. Some people, it's the 50s, if you've noticed, and it's a bit strange as well. I'm not saying in every case, but they're preoccupied with times gone by. Okay, number 12. A person is very, very famous, and then there is a dramatic fall, usually involving humiliation or death. And you're going, wow, how could this happen? They're so rich, they're so famous. Well, there could be a demon involved. Okay, number 13. Gross disregard for their law. They break the law, but they seem to get away with it. Like the cartel, the drug lords, like Epstein. You know, there's just, like the mob, like in Las Vegas, and that sort of thing. And then eventually, it's always really, really bad. Okay, 14. People who are influencers. I'm not saying influencers are demon-possessed. I'm just saying that when people are very, very influential, like this person carries this little purse, and everybody in the entire planet wants that purse. It could be the purse, it could be the person. So and also people who are influencers in ideas that maybe aren't super popular, are good, and then they become popular. So influencers can be, I have found myself doing that myself, going, wow, that is a cute purse, or whatever it is. Okay, pedophiles. So when you see a pedophile, you can pretty much bet there is a demon behind it. And so the demon likes the pedophilia, but what he does is he usually gives some kind of miraculous gifts to the people who do this. It's very bad, they know it, but they're compensated some way by some kind of super type powers or something. And so for them, it's a fair trade-off. It's not though, because they're always ruined, and then you go to the demoralization and death thing possibly. Okay, now I have actually witnessed this. I went to a healing revival, yes, and I saw red X-ray, like rays shooting out, of course, the man next to me, and I'm going, oh my God, but I'm trying not to show it, but I've actually seen like red rays emitted from the eyes. That is not normal. That's probably not good. Okay, weird people. Okay, like, you'll see interviews after like horrific crimes, serial killers, and the people a lot of times will say, well, yeah, it was kind of weird, like the guy who shot John Lennon. He's to this day weird. When he's interviewed about it, he seems to enjoy the attention. even though he says he is very sorry. He may be very sorry, but the demon is not sorry. You'll see that in a lot of criminals. They take pride in their crimes, but the person themselves is a weird person. Always has been. Like nerds, you know, like extreme nerds that become very, very mega wealthy. That's all. Okay, now 18. Okay, fake Christians. And you'll say to yourself, you know, there's something awfully strange about this Christian. Sometimes it'll be the way they talk. You go, Or sometimes, like, they'll say something, you know, just in passing, like, the poor people are multiplying like rabbits. And you're like, what? One of the examples of a very bad Christian who was probably demon-possessed was Jim Jones, who enticed all of his followers to follow him to Guyana. They were separatists, but he was always a little bit off. And he did use narcotics, and he was known to have fits of rage. And he wasn't the most Christian-like person. One thing, thou shalt not kill. That includes yourself. Okay, number 19. Alien devotees. Yes. Okay, we had Heaven's Gate here. And these were not like stupid people. These were like tech people who seemed to have a lot going for them. But on close examination, they had removed their genitalia and they killed themselves because I think it was called something Pete asteroid was coming, and they were going to get on the asteroid and fly into outer space. Then there's the Raelians. Now the Raelians are suspect because I think they were some of the first cloners. So what could a clone be used for? Well, a clone could be used for a vessel or a demon. Not always, but you know what I'm saying. So alien devotees, that can be a problem. Okay, last one. People who act like animals. Charles Manson's followers come to mind. One was acting like a frog, either on the way in or out of court, and one was acting like a snake. That is a very bad sign. People can be very animalistic, like a lot of people ganging up on some helpless person, that's like an animal. In homicide, sometimes people will bite their victims like an animal, so that's a very, very bad sign. So another thing I wanted to mention about fake Christians. When I watch these videos about warnings, right, I notice sometimes they look like they're smiling as they're giving the bad news. But in through the eyes, they have a very dark look. So you want to look like that. Look at that. Or it seems like, going back to something weird, that possibly they might be up to no good. So what do we do? How do we avoid this? Well, if we stay strong in the Word, and we rely on the Word, just like today. Can you believe this clear sky? That does not happen. When we have fires here, it's nothing but bad. So also in the fires, it's really bad, is a lot of people out there in the back countries have livestock like horses, and then there's a lot of wildlife out there. Just some people I know have said, you know, they were jogging, and they saw pumas. A lot of the wildlife is rescued from out there because the cartel will have these animals guarding the drugs, and then they just abandon the animals. And then there's all the small animals and birds too that perish in fires, so they're nothing but bad. It looks like, and it's starting to cool off. I thought for the rest of the day and tomorrow that we were really, really going to be suffering. I had braced myself. So, okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.